name is Mike West. I'm one of the executive producers for Universal Creative. I was responsible, or could be blamed, for the Simpsons Springfield expansion here. So, how many have been to Moe's Tavern before? I know I see a number of familiar faces that we've had duffs with before. So, well, welcome back. For those of you, this is your first time here, special welcome. It's a really exciting week for us all across the property. We're glad you came to see a bit of Springfield. Back in 2008, has everybody been on the Simpsons ride already? If you haven't, you got to go. It's one of the best, we said biasly. But we opened up the Simpsons ride both here and in Hollywood in 2008, and it was a huge success with our guests. Right at that point, we started thinking about how can we expand the Simpsons brand and the notion of Springfield. Well, in the ride, what we did is we took you into the animated world of the Simpsons. And that worked very well because you joined Homer and the family and all the characters on the adventure. But for this, we wanted to kind of reverse that and bring you into the physical reality, the physical world of Springfield. So we got together with Jim Brooks and Matt Groening, worked very closely with them again as we did on the ride, to create kind of the iconic moments and structures for Springfield. And you can imagine a town that size, that's been around for so long, it took a lot to kind of figure out what was really the iconic elements that we want to include. Obviously, Krusty Burger had to be here. And the facility you're in now, Moe's Tavern. Thanks, Krusty! I have to give him a plug. Moe's Tavern is obviously a very big part of The Simpsons, so we really felt this had to be a big part of that. And then inside in the food court, of course, we've got a separate stand in there for Flaming Moe's. We have the Krusty Burger serving area. We added some new ones. Cletus decided to open up his own fast food chain. First time, it's not in the show, but we have it here at Universal Orlando Resort. And Cletus's Chicken Shack. He just went a little afoul, you might say, of some of the people that he's serving. So we also added Bumblebee Man Taco Truck down the street, again, which is an original new creation for us at the park. And we have pizzeria. Krusty Burgers, you might imagine, is probably our most popular item. Thanks, Krusty. We've probably dished out about 300,000 Krusty Burgers since we opened, and that was just a one guest, so it was really amazing. It was him. But it's been very popular with the guests, and we work very closely with the people at Fox and Gracie on a lot of the food elements for this expansion, because you can imagine things like Krusty Burger and Flaming Moe and Duff Beer are almost as much a character in the show as the animated characters themselves. So we had Duff Beer developed here exclusively at a brewery, a local brewery, and I happen to be very biased, but I think it's the best beer on property myself. We have Duff Dry, and Duff Light. If you haven't tried any of it, I would suggest it. The Flaming Moe is obviously a very popular drink. And just the overall atmosphere. We tried to create something where the families could come and enjoy this together, because a lot of the rides and experiences you go around, the kids are one place, and then mom and dad, aunts, uncles, grandma, and grandpas are kind of spread out around things. But in here, we felt that Springfield was a place where the whole family could come together and kind of enjoy it en masse. God bless you. So we created something starting at the south end of Springfield, where you come in and the taco truck is on the left side. You go up, and the next big iconic element is Lard Lad Donuts. You had to have a Lard Lad Donut if you're in Springfield, right? But we added some soft serve ice cream to that to kind of round out that experience. And then you come up and you see Police Chief Wiggum in his car. Well, the story is, how it goes, is that the chief was heading to Lard Lad a little too fast to get his daily donut. He overshot the parking space and hit that fire hydrant, which is now squirting water all over everybody. Of course, the chief still has his donut, and he's now one of the more popular photo opportunities in the entire resort. People love getting pictures taken with Chief. His head's gone a little bit, you know. So you come up a little further, and we put together a Springfield Park with Jebediah and the statue. And then we head up to Duff Gardens. Duff Gardens is really one of my favorites too, because it's just a nice atmosphere over there. You can sit and look across that other little project across the way. I forget the name of it. But it was kind of fun watching it grow up as we were sitting at Duff's. So then you get past that, we have a little retail store, and then beyond that, if you go the far north end of Springfield, we come into Krusty Land, because Krusty Land is kind of that area kind of between Universal and Springfield. So we actually added an element to Krusty Land in the Kang and Kodo's Twirl and Hurl ride. And the Twirl and Hurl kind of name is, we figured, well, if you come through this area, you're first, and then you eat, and then you go and you ride the ride. That's where the name came from. We haven't had anybody go through that experience yet, so we're hoping it stays clean. But it's a great experience. Again, it's a kind of ride that we put together for all the guests of all ages can ride together at once, and it's been very popular with the guests. one of the challenges we face in creating something like this is obviously a show like The Simpsons is such an iconic element in TV for the last quarter-plus century, over 500 episodes. So, you know, unless you've been on Pluto for the last 25 years, you know who The Simpsons are, and obviously there's great fan base. So it was a real challenge meeting their expectations, as we did with the ride and also with Springfield. From the reaction we've been getting, guests, they really do love it, and they really feel like they're part of the town when they're here. But we also wanted to make sure that if you maybe didn't watch The Simpsons, you came and it was still a great, enjoyable experience for everybody. So I think you can see from the line in there, the food has obviously been a big hit. We worked very closely with Matt and Jim on the food. We went out there before we opened and did a big taste testing. We took every particular food item that we were going to create and brought it out to California and set up and had a big banquet with Jim and Matt and the writers and some of the other producers. And the tough thing was getting them to just take a bite of everything, because we had about 150 things for them to taste. And if you start downing your full Krusty Burger, you're not going to make it to the chicken and waffle sandwich at any time soon. That's been one of the biggest kind of unknown hits that we had. The chicken and waffle sandwich. If you haven't had a chance to try it, I would highly recommend it. It's really, really good. The miniature cupcakes are great. My favorites are peanut butter and jelly. I think we have some of those over here too. So, but it was a blast working with those guys. How can you not have fun working with the Simpsons, right? I mean, they're just such a fun cast. And the photo things, like I say, we have Barney here. He had to be here. Of course, his mug is empty. That's why the sad look. Duff Man over across the way, as well as the Seven Little Duffs topiary. So, from a photographic standpoint, there's a lot of elements here. We have Millhouse now in front of Quickie Mart. So it really creates an environment where people can just kind of come in for a little while, relax, have some good food and drink, and enjoy themselves. So we've been really pleased, and judging from the reaction we've been getting from the guests, they've been having a great time with it. So. Any questions? Simpsons, Springfield, characters?
Mike, do Matt and Jim get an extra special kick out of tweaking the tail of the mouse in the way they do?
Oh, I don't know about the tail of the mouse, but they sure have a good time doing this. Matt is just over the top. I mean, to see his idea, his dream be turned into first reality on the ride, and now to see Springfield built, you know, part of it. He's just the blast. He has so much fun. He's like a kid when we get together and we talk about stuff, so he really has a good time with it. Jim does as well, and all the writers, because who would not have a good time coming to a taste testing? You know, that would be great. But you know, the details on all the graphics, every color that's chosen, the placement of Barney's pupils, you know, in the sculpt, very meticulously gone over. The size and the look of the pool table. You can't play pool on it, but we you know, had to be part of Moe's Tavern, so we have it here, but you can sit it and eat. Even the love tester machine. The writers are very involved in the names on the menus, anything on the love tester, and every graphic and sign that you see in here as well. So it's a very, very authentic Simpsons experience. Any other questions? Everybody's hungry. Yes, sir.
What have you been delighted to see guests enjoy the most?
What areas have they enjoyed the most?
What have you been delighted to see guests enjoy the most?
I'm sorry, the light?
What have you enjoyed seeing people lining up?
I don't know. It sounds old-fashioned, but you spend a couple years working on a project on any of them, and just seeing the guest reaction in general. I mean, they just come and they have a good time, and they're laughing. You see them gather around the fountain, the hydrant over there, and just the kids splashing around, and the parents getting the pictures with it. It's just great to watch people after you work so hard on something. And I mean, it's a labor of love. It's just a lot of fun to do, but it's work. And it's a lot of work, a lot of detail, a lot of hours spent on making sure things are very authentic and very right. And just to see folks like you here come to listen to us talk about it, it's never hard to get us to talk about it. It's probably harder to get us to stop talking about it. So it's just a lot of fun, and just seeing people enjoy it. That's what it's all about. That's what we love to do. We love to create great guest experiences here at Universal Orlando, and based on our reaction for The Simpsons so far, guests are really having a good time, and that's very rewarding. Yes, ma'am. Which drink do I prefer? Oh, water. No. I actually really like the Duff beer. It's my favorite on property. We've got a lot of really exclusive beers, but Duff really turned out really well. I was very pleased with it. The tough part was sampling those. Make sure we got that just right. No, it's good. We have Duff, Duff Dry, and Duff Light. So.
What do you judge it on?
The taste in my tongue. No, I'm not a beer meister, so I just, you know, I just enjoy it. The flaming mo is great too, because it just tickles your nose the whole time you're drinking it, and that's always a lot of fun. And the food is just good. The chicken waffle is one of the surprise ones. I just really like that. There's really nothing from the menu here that's not fun and good. You know. Thank you.